Begin transmission.
You are listening to Corellian Run Radio, your route through hyperspace to the latest news on Star Wars: The Old Republic.
Hi, and welcome to Corellian Run Radio. This is episode 155, and recording live Sunday, October 18th, 2015. My name is Jason. I'm joined by my co-host Heather. Howdy, Heather.
Hey, Jason.
So, how are you doing, Heather?
I am really excited. We're going to have an expansion drop.
We are?
At the time that you're probably listening to this, if you're not listening to it live, the expansion is already out. But for those that are live in our chat room, I'm really excited about that.
I know. It's super excited. And if you're not in the chat room, where are you? We have a special guest lined up for us. Definitely. We're going to introduce him real quick, briefly. Heather, can you do the honors for me?
Yeah, today we have community manager Eric Musco with us today.
Hello, everybody.
Hello, sir.
I'm also excited. I'm also excited for an expansion that's going to be coming out. Very excited as well.
Yes, and why not kick off the party atmosphere with a little Cantina Band music in the background here we got going on. Eric Musco joining in the house. So, are we all excited?
Yeah.
I am super excited. I mean, it's kind of been like waiting, and then bam, it's here.
Yeah, like all of a sudden it's here. I mean, I had all these things that I said I was going to do, but then I just never did it. Like, leveling and 12 times 6p and all these things. And now the expansion's coming out, and I don't have time for all these things anymore. I just have time to finally enjoy that the expansion's coming out.
Heather's got no time for that.
But what have you been doing in game the past week or so before the expansion's coming out?
Well, definitely I have to tip my hat because there are some members of the WA group in the chat room. So the WA group, which is What's an Op group, and it's for people that have some experience in operations, but some of them that don't have any at all. So we've been tackling on different things. We started out with Eternity Vault, went Karaga's Palace, and then we went to Explosive Content, Scum and Villainy, and we finally had, the past 2 weeks, we tackled TFB, and that is a little more challenging, some of the mechanics in that one, but we finally, last night, we got the final boss down, so congrats to some of those guys getting their achievements in that. That was fun, and yes, Redna, the super tank, he's in the chat room right now. He helped pull us through on the final boss, and I also see Darth Pops, Marshall, so I see you guys sneaking around here, so good to have you guys. I also been doing some leveling. Oh, wait a minute. Shout out to Master Lou. He's in the house, too. So he was with us doing some heals. So been doing some leveling. Getting my Jedi Knight up to, actually, Bel Sabbath. So I will have the Jedi Knight done before the expansion drops Tuesday. So that's the thing. So great to have you here, Eric. But come on, we got to get this going. Got things to do. So, Heather, what about you? What have you been doing this past week?
Just only a tiny bit of PvP, just a tiny bit, and I've been going back and doing the old ops, just kind of refamiliarizing myself with them because they're going to be pretty relevant now if they're your level at 65 or whatever level they're going to be. I did Dread Fortress for the first time since Shadow of Revan came out. Like, after having that same operation set for more than a year, it's just like, we didn't even touch it. And so we finally went back and we did it in hard mode. I figured Nightmare would be too much if we haven't seen it in a year.
Mm-hmm.
And we did okay. And then we did like half of Dread Palace, but then we just didn't finish that up. And we did TFB and, just a bunch of the old ops. It's kind of, at this point, we're just refamiliarizing ourselves with it, like I said.
Getting down some of the mechanics again. I know I've seen some streamers, and I'll give a shout out to Guild Failure. I've even been seeing their group. They've been farming hard mode, EOS, and Ravengers, but then I've been seeing them go back to some of the harder content as far as the old ops and teaching some people that hadn't gone through it. So I can see some of the bigger name guilds, even some of the rating progression guilds getting ready for how Operation will be running in 4.0 because there are going to be some operations highlighted that you'll have to take down for that 224 gear, I believe.
Yeah. So all of the ops, I think, drop like the 220 gear, but then there's less special operation of the week, or is it week that you get the 224 gear?
Yeah, so there's one operation that's highlighted every week, and it rotates. That hard mode operation will drop 224, and then you can also always get 224 in nightmares.
Nice.
Cool.
Yeah, I think we're going to talk about that a little bit in the news. And why don't we go ahead and get into the news? We had a few things drop.
From the Newsnet and beyond.
So yeah, we had a few things come out, and actually we had our Eric Musco, who I'm going to be reading some of the things that he talked about. We had, first of all, the Conquest reward issues have been resolved for 4.0. Eric types, he wanted to let us know that the dev team found and corrected the issue affecting Conquest rewards. The issue will be resolved next Tuesday, when 4.0 goes live. That means you'll be able to play Conquest normally and should receive both your guild and personal rewards as intended. So I'm super excited about that, to hear that, because I know we had talked about it. I know SWTOR, Escape Podcast, and some of the other podcasts had talked about, well, with the crafting, some of the new operation level gear, you're going to need some of those mats from Guild Conquest. And so that was going to be possibly, suspended for a month, Eric?
Yeah, so yeah, that was true. Hopefully for less than a month, but a month of time is kind of the buffer we were giving ourselves to work on getting it resolved. The nice thing is we had actually been talking about, and luckily I never actually had to say this because we got it fixed, but we were talking about that if the conquests remained an issue with the rewards for guilds, that we were going to shift those mats into personal rewards so that you could still get them.
Oh, wow. But we won't have to worry about that.
No, you won't. You no longer have to worry about that, luckily.
Haha, awesome. So
My guild still is the owner of Rishi for like months and months and months and months on the Harbinger.
oh yeah,
Oh no.
Yeah.
you guys are gonna be back at the Conquest grind, then, aren't you?
Yeah, I hope so.
I'm kind of excited about it.
Yeah,
See
we're
how
having
that's
an
gonna
upswing again of new members and stuff. We got most of the planets during, when we had our big conquest push, but then we kind of took a little break, gave everyone else a chance.
be. Giving everyone else a
Very-
chance to listen to you.
Very generous conqueror you are, Heather.
I know.
I
Right.
know.
The benevolent despair, letting
Yeah.
Elvis have a shot at it.
Oh, I guess we'll stop winning. You guys go ahead
Go
and take
ahead
it for a
now.
little bit.
But I mean, at least our name is still on Rishi for now, so
Listen
there's
to you
that.
guys. And speaking of Conquest Weeks, also courtesy of Eric Musco and the community team and everybody there at Austin BioWare, they posted up the Conquest Weeks starting October 20th and going through the end of January 2016 on what will be going on as far as Conquest and the order they will be going on, and also the events. They let us know ahead of time when the events will be happening. October 20th, we'll start Bounty Contract Week, right when the expansion comes out for early access, and then so on and so forth from that. So, Eric, is that going to be something that we can expect from you guys to have on the forums or on the website, an update on the calendars?
Yep, that's absolutely the goal. I know one of the things we're working on doing is trying to get, because we have an events page that we're working on trying to get kind of repurposed to have that schedule and stuff on there. But yeah, absolutely, we want to make sure that you guys have. People have been asking for a long time for us to officially put out the conquest information. Certainly, there's methods people have gotten it, but us being able to put it out officially is much cleaner, and so we've been trying to get that information out. So hopefully, going forward, you'll know the event schedule along with the conquest schedule going forward.
That is
What
awesome.
would really be cool is if there was an in-game calendar for guilds to mark off these different
Ooh.
conquests and events.
Well done, Heather.
I asked for that.
I liked how that. Nice job,
I know.
Heather.
Yep.
So, can
But
we
very
get that
cool. We can
suggestion?
organize ourselves.
I love it. Being able to see that. Now, you guys are making the Gree event. Is there any reason the Gree event is only going to be the rarity of it coming out as opposed to some of the other ones that look like they're going to be like every month?
So that's a good question. So I know part of the answer, but probably not the entire answer. So Bounty Contract Week has always been designed to be a monthly event, so that will come back monthly.
Mm-hmm.
Rat Ghoul, keep in mind there's multiple variations of the Rat Ghoul event. It's the one thing I didn't specify on the calendar is where the Rat Ghoul event will be. So there's multiple versions of the Rat Ghoul event, which is why I think that's being run more than the Gree.
Gotcha.
That's the only answer I know of, but I can certainly ask because I don't know why Gree. Other than that, I don't know why Gree isn't being run more often. But I can ask.
Yeah, because now for me, I think the Gree, although all of them offer a lot of different things for people to do, from like the one boss operations and different things like that. For me, the Gree offers so many things, especially with the PvP option and stuff like that. So definitely.
Yeah.
Awesome.
I also must say that I am stupidly stoked that we have the new event reward vendor that's bringing back some of the older rewards, especially the stuff from the Chevin event.
Oh yes.
Like I forget the actual name of it. I always just call it the broken down speeder. I've wanted that thing for so long, and I missed it during the Chevin event. So I'm very excited for that to come back. Plus the containment officer. People have been asking for the containment officer gear to come back forever because of it.
Yeah, I have
The well dressed, right?
Yep, the well dressed achievement. So now they can get it.
It's so cool. Yeah, I still have like a couple pieces of that, like the gloves and the boots from that. So awesome.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, I'm excited because I think either you mentioned it, didn't you, Heather, about the crossbows?
Yeah. I mean, I have them, but I mean, I could always get more.
I can always get more.
Yeah, but the crossbows, those are really cool. And if you missed it, they haven't come out with another one.
I think they're on that vendor also. I think.
Yeah, that was from the Chevin
Yeah, I
event.
think we saw
Sweet.
that. We looked at that, so I'm super excited. I saw those. So, let's see the other thing. Let's go through my show notes here. I guess the other heads up for everybody out there, the GTN will be just like anything else. All your stuff that you put on the GTN will come back to you on Tuesday. Is that correct, Eric?
Yep. Yeah, and I'm going to post about that again tomorrow just to remind people. I don't want people to be scared when suddenly all their auctions cancel on Tuesday.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so don't go through on Monday night and put all your stuff on the GTN and spend all that effort.
Yeah, I suppose you can if you want to, but they're just going to be mailed to you during maintenance. So.
Yeah. Oh, and so everybody be aware of that. Also, we'll go through a few of these. I thought some of these were some good questions you were able to answer in the forums. Let's see. I believe I want to get this right. I'm going to say it's probably a discount. Posted some of these. Explain about the operation. We talked briefly about this, but maybe go in a little bit more about the operation. Explain how the rotating best in slot gear is going to work.
Yeah, sure. So basically, every week there will be one hard mode operation which is flagged as the. Let me use the correct words on what it's called. I'll look for that while I'm speaking.
High priority target.
Thank you, Heather.
Yes.
I don't remember my own words. It's the high priority target, and you can find that by going to the flashpoints and ops wing of your respective or ship of your respective fleet, and there'll be like a hollow image of it there. Also, when you're inside of the operation, it will have a special buff, which has no other effect other than indicating that it's the high priority target for that week. So doing that. Killing any of the bosses in that operation during that week will get you eye level 224 gear. Otherwise, so let me backtrack a second. Hard modes will always drop eye level 220. If it's the high priority target, it will still drop 220, but then it will also additionally drop 224. And then, from my understanding, nightmare modes will always drop 224s if you just want to go straight for those.
What is this? What is this eye level? Are we turning into Apple here? What is that?
I'm just abbreviating item level, right?
Oh, okay.
Right?
So now let me get this straight. The high priority target in those hard mode operations, it's going to drop the 224 and the 220?
Correct. Yeah, it will, because hard modes will always drop 220. And my understanding is that when they are the high priority target, they will still drop their normal loot, and then they will also drop 224 as well.
Nice. Now, it will be a random 224 piece, or will it be a specific type of piece?
It is I'm trying to remember because I had this conversation with the team. I believe it is a specific piece tied into whatever that boss would normally drop. So if that boss normally drops main hands, it's going to drop a main hand, etc.
Oh, awesome.
90% sure that's true.
Okay, so a skilled player could just go through and do all the nightmare ops if they really wanted to get the 224s faster, or no?
Yep.
Okay.
Awesome. That's great. I'm excited about that. Let's see. What's some other things on here? He talked about Conquest changes PvE repeatables. As far as I believe he was referring to some of the quests and stuff like that.
Yeah, so I know that there's something that people have been looking for more PvE repeatables that are a part of Conquests. I know the team has interest in doing them, but there aren't going to be any new ones with 4.0. But certainly it sounds like there could be some in the future, but I just don't know when.
Gotcha. Okay. And also, we will have a link to some of these other things that Eric went through and asked or answered from Discount. They had definitely some neat things there. The other one I wanted to touch on about the achievement points lost with the instant kills, the 1K kills for your companions,
Sure,
stuff like that.
sure, yeah. So should I give you the explanation of the whole thing in case people missed the other parts of it as well?
Yes, please.
Sure.
Okay, so the achievements that are tied into maxing affection for companions are being removed from the game. The reason that's happening is the entire system is switching over from affection to influence. And so because of that, those achievements would just need to change. They just wouldn't be relevant to the new system. So those achievements are going away. That means you will lose those achievement points. However, the other achievements, which are the kill X amount of enemies with the companions out, which exist currently, their point totals are being adjusted to reflect the score you could have gotten from those other achievements. So I'm just going to make up fictional numbers here. Let's say that the achievements per companion were worth 10 points each, and the achievements of the kill achievements were worth 10 points each. The affection ones have gone away, so now the kill ones are worth 20 points each to make up for it. And actually, you can actually get more points now than you could before total, because we're also adding kill achievements for the ship droids as well.
Ooh, nice.
And I believe there's also new titles, or there definitely are titles respective for getting all of the kill achievements across the companions. So there'll be some other reward for getting those done as well.
And if you have the 1K kills already, those are retro, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep, should be.
Awesome.
Because nothing was changing with them except for the achievement value that they're worth.
Gotcha. That makes sense. So thank you for clearing that up. And like I said, there's some other things in there. He talks about different things with some of the crafting patterns they talked about. And like we said, again, with the no PvE repeatables, but maybe in the future. So we'll have a link to that whole forum thread, and you can check that out. Different things that Eric went through. So
What about any titles linked to those achievements that are going away?
Yeah, so I think you're referring to the squad leader achievement. I believe that has been moved to be the meta achievement. I'm using air quotes, like the overlying you've completed all of the kill X. I believe that's now how you get squad leader, so that's changed over. But I believe that if you already have squad leader, if you've unlocked the title, I don't think it will go away. Even though the old method of getting it is no longer possible, I don't think it will go away. And I think it's the new achievement that are worth it's the achievements that are worth the kills that will grant you that title now.
Okay.
I believe that's how it works.
Awesome. That was a question from the chat room, by the way, too. Thank you for the guys for that.
Death hymns. Thank
Hymns. Thank you. Awesome.
Uplifting name.
Uplifting.
So why don't we ask Eric some questions about himself?
Let's go ahead and get into the community buzz. So if you are just now joined us, Eric Musco, community manager, is in the studio with us.
Woo!
Woohoo! Woo woo! Super excited.
So what class are you going to be playing through the new expansion? I mean, if you're only playing one, what class, or which one are you playing first?
This is the worst question. It's actually the best question. It's just impossible to answer. So this is my eternal dilemma when I look at playing through the Old Republic. So my favorite class to play, mechanically speaking, is Arsenal Merc. I just love high mobility ranged classes, especially now that they have, I don't remember what the name of their new ability is, but their new ability, which is amazing and even gives them more mobility. And so I'm super excited to play it, but at the same rate, when it comes to story, nothing will ever top the Imperial Agent for me. And then I also been playing a Jedi Knight recently, so I'm torn between those three. For story reasons, I want to play through a Jedi Knight or an Imperial Agent, but my favorite class to just play mechanically is a Merc. So probably one or all of those three in some amount. But I think it's probably going to be an Imperial Agent is what I think I'm going to play.
Hey, check out that picture of Eric on the screen at the New York Community Cantina.
Oh no, I should be afraid of this, shouldn't I?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There was some,
that picture's awesome. Oh yeah,
we had some candid ones from New York Comic Con.
so good.
So now, what is your favorite companion going into 4.0? Has that changed? The companions you take along with you?
Oh, that is such a hard. Let me tell you, one of my favorite things about because I think Heather, you were talking about getting a bunch of characters to 60 before Fallen Empire.
Mm-hmm.
So I also started doing that because I wanted to get the legendary status of having all 8, which I don't have right now. I think I have 5 or 6 of them. So I started playing through them, and then when I would do some tests internally with the way companions are now, where you don't have to worry about gearing them up and you can just switch their role to be whatever you want, I was enjoying it so much that I'm like, I'm going to wait till Fallen Empire launches, and then I'm going to level these to 60 so I can just bring whatever companion I want with me. It's honestly my favorite thing about the expansion for that reason.
Yeah, I really like that they level with you too, and you don't have to like worry about their gear. So yeah, I stopped leveling.
Oh, it's so good. So let's see. My favorite companion. God, that is such a hard question to answer. Let's pretend I'm going to play my Imperial Agent, which I probably will. So I'll stick to agent answers.
Okay.
My answer is actually Temple.
Nice.
I've always, I romance Temple. I've always been a fan of Temple's character. I know that's probably a strange choice. Most people, especially for an agent, would pick probably almost all the other ones. I've always liked Temple, so I'll go with Temple.
Temple. Now, do you play her still as in her DPS role that she originally was, or have you switched that?
No, I throw her as a healer whenever. Pretty much everyone I park as a healer when I play them now. Although I will put out a special nod for what will probably be my favorite companion now, which is the Dog companion that I showed briefly on the stream.
Oh
Yes.
yeah.
That thing is the best.
All
Like, as
about
soon
the
as I
Act Dog,
saw it,
man.
I was freaking out when I saw that companion. So probably the Dog. But
Yeah, I saw that. Definitely for dailies, I think I'm definitely going to have to get an Act Dog.
it's so good. It's so good.
So a more technical question. So how will planets with multiple level ranges work with the new level 6 system? So say Tatooine with Outlaw's Den and others that have the secret droid missions. How does that work?
Great. That's a very, very good question. So I was joking with you guys before the stream that you had some good detailed questions on here that I was like, holy hell, I don't know the answer to that question. Let me go find out. So this is how my understanding is that it will work. Because of the nature of level sync, where the idea is to bring you in line with the planets to make sure that the content and the rewards are always relevant for you. Any of the planets that have multiple level ranges to them have all been changed so that they are all of one level range. So I'm going to use an example that may not be true, but I'll stick with it anyway. So people saw that when I was on Jerome and Koss, I got level synced to 15 per se. If, let's say, later on you came back to Jerome and Koss for a later mission or a bonus series, those mobs will now also be the same level as Jerome and Koss mobs, so that you will also be at their level as well. So basically, the levels across an entire planet have been brought in line so that they're always at one level.
Gotcha. So that even for the Secret Droid quests and stuff like that, that area is going to be level synced to that particular planet, right?
Correct. That is my understanding.
Okay, and along those lines, I did have one more question along that, and whether you know or may not know. What if it's an instant quest? Say, like with your story quest, and you're going back to Korriban, and a high level.
That's a good question. Right, because then the question would be: is that instance leveled to where you are in like your class story, or is it based on the planet?
Right.
I have no idea. I won't pretend I know the answer. I'm not sure.
Gotcha.
That's a good edge case. Based on the answer that they gave me, I suspect those might also be leveled down, but I don't know. I will ask. Make sure to bug me about that tomorrow, and I'll
the final boss in the Inquisitor.
Oh yeah, you're right.
You do it on on Korriban, I think, right? And so
Right.
that would be kind of weird if you were just brought down to level 10.
I suspect that is the exception and not the rule. So you are probably right, just based on that argument alone.
Yep.
I will find out for sure though, because that's a good question.
Thank you very much, Eric. We'll look for that.
Yeah, you got it.
Now, this one's another question. I have to tip my hat out to some of the members of UA and Wiki Mistake for some of these questions. How will there be any items added to the ship droid vendor that you purchase via legacy perk, since all the droid armor is going away in the game?
Right. Good question. This is another one that I went and manually checked just to find out. There is nothing being added to it. The droid armor that is being obviously is no longer relevant to those companions is off of the vendor. So if it's the vendor that I'm thinking of, which is the repair vendor that you can buy for your ship, he will still sell the upgrade changes for the dummies, for the target dummies, but the mods have been removed for it. At least for now, nothing else has been added to the vendor.
Gotcha.
Will McKeb still maintain the GSI bolster? If not,
it will
well,
not.
okay, no, okay.
It does not. Yep.
If not, does this mean level 47 will no longer be suggested as the start for the McKeb story mission?
Probably. But I will find out. That part I don't know. I know that the GSI bolster was taken off of the planet, but I don't know if you can still how bad it will be for you if you still go there at 47. I do know that as a part of a lot of this, many mobs and NPCs and stuff were touched around the whole galaxy to kind of bring them in line with the balance of level sync, and I suspect McKeb is probably included in that, but I will find out.
Alrighty. Okay, let's see. And this has to go with as far as the Twitch channel and everything we noticed last time. Does BioWare and the community team plan to expand the SWTOR Twitch channel like over the last couple of streams with the cosplay costume contest and the informative live stream that you did?
Absolutely. So this is it's a tricky answer, or it's a long answer, I guess. I love live streaming. I think it's super fun. I want to do it as much as I can. That being said, what I learned is when we were kind of doing like the weekly let's play type of streams, I think it was doing less good than good. It was the problem is just that as the public representative, like as the community team, our jobs are kind of to get you guys information and that type of stuff. And when we're in a lull where there just isn't much information to put out, doing that kind of stream week in and week out actually probably just leads to more frustration because it's more visibility into just that I don't have information to give at that time. So I definitely want to. So that's why we've pulled back a lot on our live streams. That being said, what the goal has changed for sure is that I want to make sure that when we are doing live streams that we are killing it, which is why like the 2-hour live stream, I think universally everyone pretty much loved, besides a little bit of friction around level sync. I think everybody generally was happy with the amount of information that we put out. I mean, the tricky thing is, right, is it was 2 hours of me info dumping. It's not like I can do that every week. There's only so much a finite amount of information to distribute, but we definitely want to do as many streams as we can, but they have to have purpose. So as we can find situations to do more streaming, we certainly will.
Are you going to have the cosplay costume contest in the future?
That's a good question. I don't know. New York was very much, kind of a trial run. Let's do a cosplay contest, see how it does. I think it was great. The costumes that were there were really, really good. And I would love to do something like it in the future, whether we do it at every physical cantina that we do, whether we try to do some kind of online component to it. I'm not sure, but I thought it was great. It's, the more things that we can do as a team to kind of incorporate stuff that the community and the fans do, we want to do as much of it as we can. So I'd love to keep doing it.
Oh, we talked a little bit before, but Addict SWTOR, what is happening with the Alliance system, and can you talk about that?
So the Alliance system, this is what I will tell you. I can't tell you too much today, as I think I had mentioned it last week in the forums. The plan right now is that a bunch of press sites and the like were given some hands-on time with Alliance, and they'll be releasing their coverage of the system on Tuesday when around the time early access launches. We have an entirely large informative blog we also intend to publish around the same time. I know it can be a little frustrating for people because they want to know as much as they can about the game, and it's the one last piece they still don't know. But it's a little bit of a surprise. There's quite a bit to the Alliance system, and we're very excited to tell you about it. And you'll find out more about it on Tuesday.
Ooh.
So if you're listening to the podcast, quick, run over to the SWTOR website and check out all about the Alliance blog that will be there Tuesday, right, Eric?
Yep.
Awesome.
It should be on Tuesday, barring something messing it up for some reason that we don't. But I do know that a bunch of press sites and stuff will be covering lots of things around the Alliance on Tuesday. Plus, I imagine there's plenty of fan sites out there who will be doing coverage of Alliance once they get to it. Which, to be fair, Alliance you unlock Alliance very much towards the end of Fallen Empire, so it probably won't be 10 minutes after the server comes up, but they'll get there, and you'll start getting coverage about it from them as well.
So what is it like having Drew Karpyshyn back? For those that don't know, he's the one that wrote Revan. So when do you think we will get to see his story in the game?
I mean, I think the best answer that I can give you is eventually. I don't obviously, as community manager, I don't work directly with Drew. Having Drew back in the office is interesting for me because I get to see him in the hall sometimes and say hey to Drew. That's about the extent of my interactions at the moment, at least with him. But I mean, like all things, right? There's lots of people in and out of the building who are fans of Drew. I think Drew's a good dude, and always excited to have him back in and helping us with stuff. So it's cool, very cool.
Was that a big surprise for some of you guys there?
I mean, I yes and no. I mean, I had heard that we were working and talking with Drew. So yes and no.
There was a question there. Will the operations bosses in 4.0, will their achievements be new, or is it be the same ones again?
I believe that all of the achievements will remain the same they are now, since there isn't a new difficulty mode or anything coming in with it. So I believe the achievements would stay the same as they are now.
Gotcha. That was another one from in the chat room.
Sweet.
So what has the past year been like as a community manager? Any highlights, major stresses that you can tell us about?
Oh man, I like that you caveated that you can tell me about.
Oh, always.
So I mean, I think I can't ever say enough how much I love my job. I know that every now and again people are I'll say sympathetic to what they feel like is a lot of fire that is thrown in my direction. But I don't ever look at any of it that way. And I'm saying this to anyone even that's listening that wants to yell at me. It's okay. You can yell at me. I realized that a long time ago that being community manager meant representing the company. And when people are angry or frustrated, it's solely just out of how much they love the game. And that's something that I always try to remind myself in doing any interaction with the community at large is just, and I mean this sincerely, I've never seen an MMO community that has the kind of passion for the game that this one does. And it's Star Wars, right? So there's clearly lots and lots of love that come with Star Wars. So let's see, highlights and lowlights. Highlights are trickier. Because those are usually the ones that I probably can't tell you, only because I think a lot of my highlights are when, I'll bring something up with the dev team and talk with them about stuff. And I don't want to say, I don't like to phrase it as I won the battle with them, but I'll bring up a concern of hey, I think when this happens, the players are going to react in this way. And it's rewarding and it's cool when we get the situations of them being yeah, you're right. Let's work on adjusting that kind of thing. So that's those are probably the best. I don't know that I actually have any very specific examples. I don't even know that I really have. I mean, lowlights, I could say the opposite of that statement, but I think lowlights, not really. I think the trickiest thing is when we get into. It's probably always my least favorite part of the job is when I'm crazy busy preparing for something or working on something in the studio. And oftentimes players won't know that I'm working on any of those things. And so they'll just be a few days of me not talking on the forums, and me not even looking at my Twitter account and doing that type of stuff, just because I'm so busy working on some project for something that's like 4 months away. Those are tricky because I know people get people get frustrated, rightfully so, that they don't feel like they're being communicated with during those times. And it's difficult because I have managing things like the forums and responding on the forums is only a fraction of what I do. And so sometimes that can be a little tricky when dealing with some of the other stuff. So that's just kind of like an ongoing, like, I realize if it's like 4 p.m. and I haven't even opened the forums that day, I'm like, oh God, this is not the best. This is not,
broken loose.
yeah, I'm like, this is not the best day. I mean, luckily I have Tate and Nick, who obviously Tate looks at the forums a lot more than I do because of his job, especially. So on those days, I'll usually just go past like Tate or Nick and be like, "Is there anything going on that I need to be aware of?" Because I don't know if I'm going to get a chance to look today. But usually, if something is, they'll come find me and be like, "Hey, there's some stuff you probably need to deal with." So that's cool. The other highlight, of course, is it's a Star Wars movie year. Can I just put that out on the table?
Oh,
so
yes.
that's clearly,
Yes, you can.
clearly the highlight of the year is that in 2 months' time, we're all going to be watching a Star Wars movie. That's ridiculous. So.
Speaking of that, so are you hyped about tomorrow?
Let me tell you. Yes, the answer is yes. And right before you guys called me to jump on this call, I was looking at, there's a theater, well-known set of theaters in Texas called the Alamo Drafthouse, and I was on their website finding out when I could order my midnight release tickets to go see the movie when it comes out. So yes, I'm so hyped for this movie.
Yeah, I believe the trailer is going to be during Monday Night Football.
Is that
Yeah,
what?
that was the rumor. I guess ESPN, they tweeted it out, but then they deleted the tweet. But then we all know anyway.
Are you saying I have to watch sports tomorrow?
I would.
I don't know that I signed up for sports.
I'm sure it'll be on the internet as soon as it's out. So
Yeah, somebody will have it up there. And then I guess right after that, you can get your early access. Go into Fandango or something like that and get your tickets, reserve tickets. I got
Right.
early access on the brain right now. I don't know why.
I don't know why. Is there something else in early access soon? I don't.
Something like
Sounds-
that. Soul Tour, this small little game or something like that.
What classes are you guys playing into early access?
I want to say that I'm going to play my assassin, but when Shadow of Revan came out, the Harbinger failed me, and I had to go level on the Bastion. Like, what is that? I had to go level on the Bastion when Shadow of Revan came out, and I played my Shadow on the pub side. So I'm really hoping I can play my assassin this time, just straight on the Harbinger.
Right.
Yeah, I'm probably going to be playing my agent. Same reason you gave. I love the agent story. It's just it's so good. It's so good. So I definitely would be playing it first.
What I love so much about the so I play male Imperial Agent. I don't know if female Imperial Agent's the same way, but I assume it might be, is that I just feel like you're just always like a sarcastic jerk, sort of. Just a little, like everything you say, you sound condescending, but not in a way that someone's insulted, in the way that they're just kind of like, is this guy smarter than me? Like, did he just insult me? Like every line he delivers, I feel like it comes across that way. I'm like, this is so good. I love this. So entertaining.
It's so much like the secret agent thing, like the past, like the 70s movies and stuff like that.
Yep.
I love it. But yeah.
So good.
So good. So I'll be playing that one, and probably my Sork will be the next one I go through. So.
Nice.
Okay, so big question. Will you kneel or defy Valkorion?
Ha. There's only been 2 times in the entire history of me playing the Old Republic that I have ever had to like take my hand off my keyboard and lean back and just stare at the monitor, just dumbfounded as to what to do. The first one is the end of Act 1 for the agent. I had no idea what I was supposed to do. I was just stunned into indecision. And the second would be when Valkorion offers that to you. And I will tell you, I've done both just to see what it was, which is no indication direction, but my immediate instinct is to kneel. And I think my bias is because I love Darren DePaul. And so I was like, yeah, of course, I'll take some power. If my option is power or you trying to kill me, it sounds like power is probably the better option. So
Yeah, I'm going to be taking, I don't know either, though. I mean, I saw a little bit of it.
Considering my past decisions in the game, like that Imperial Agent storyline, I will probably kneel also.
Man, I am one of the things, and we've said it a lot, and I've tried to, especially at like cantinas and stuff when I've talked to people. I've often said to people, at BioWare systematically, we have a company have talked about, your decisions matter, and I can only iterate that we're not kidding with Fallen Empire. Your decisions will have very real consequences. So choose your decisions carefully. Really think about what you're doing when you're making decisions, because they will really actually have impact for sure.
Oh God, now I'm
You
all
say
nervous
that, yeah.
now.
You just drop a bombshell like that, it's like, oh no.
I love it. Well, I mean, because we've said it, and I think we've used the phrase "choices matter" so much that I think sometimes people balk at that. But I'm telling you, I've seen some choices.
Oh
And
no.
you have actual consequences sometimes when you make those. So
Is that a light? Well, is that a light side or dark side decision in the game?
I don't think it is actually.
Okay, it's
So
just a decision.
yeah, I've noticed actually quite a bit in Fallen Empire. It's not. There's some obvious ones that are light or dark that we assign light or dark to, but it's not always clear cut. And I think in a lot of those cases where it's not a clear cut light or dark, there just isn't a light or dark morality type of thing with it. It's purely just a pure morality decision. So just pick the decision you would make.
Lovers of Twi'leks in the chat room, he has said he's going to take his instant 60 through first. That way he doesn't accidentally kill any of his companions.
That's funny. That's a good idea.
That's a good idea, actually.
Not bad.
Not bad. So yeah, definitely some excitement, hype going on for the pre-launch, the early access. I'm super, super excited. And considering it's a party, it wouldn't be a party without surprises. So we definitely have a prize we're going to get ready to give away. Some of these will be... oh, did we lost the sound?
No,
Okay.
I'm here.
Okay.
Hello.
Good deal.
Yes.
The chat said we lost sound. Okay. We will be giving away one of the cartel packs, courtesy of Nick, who supplied us with some cartel packs. So I want to thank out to Nick. So we have a question. Actually, this one Heather kind of came up with. So this is for everyone in the chat room. So everybody get ready. What smuggler and Sith warrior companions know each other? They actually work together.
Can I win the prize? I'm just kidding.
Oh, I know. See, Eric, I see how you are now. We'll have to wait. There's a little bit of delay. So, did you notice? Oh, we have a winner.
Okay. So who was the first one?
Echolocation.
Echolocation.
Whoop, whoop.
Woo!
Echolocation.
So echolocation, if you want to, should we have them email us their information so it's not all over the stream?
Yeah. Either way, or they can message you in stream, or they can want to email at curlingrun@gmail.com.
Cool.
Cool. Definitely have a winner.
Congratulations, Echo.
So now, have you really? I mean, I asked you a little bit before, but has any of your decisions or your playstyle changed now that the companion system has been adjusted?
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. I think, I mean, the biggest thing is before is, I always had companion. I think this is true of anybody really, that you always have companions that you gravitate towards, the ones that you really like, and then you just decide to play with Treek anyway, because Treek is just Treek is so good, because of the ability to tank and heal. So,
that brings up a question. Sorry, I don't mean to.
Yeah, you're gonna ask if Treek's skill set changed.
Mm-hmm.
You know what's funny is halfway through me saying about Treek being awesome, I realized that I don't know the answer to that question.
Oh no.
I suspect the answer is probably yes, sort of. I'm 100% making this up, and I will verify it tomorrow. But I believe that it will probably work that if you turn Treek into a healer, Treek will have her healer abilities. If you turn Treek into a tank, she will have her tank abilities, the ones that she has now, except they will just be for only tanking or only healing. I suspect she can't do both at the same time.
Okay. the reason I ask is because in the one stream where the devs were running through it, Lana Benico was doing some major DPS and throwing out some heals.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So the other interesting thing is the types of companions, sort of. So you'll see that sometimes companions join you in like a temporary way and have
Gotcha.
static skill set types of thing. Now I can say though, I noticed this as well when I was playing through Chapter 1 with, and I won't say the companion, so I don't spoil anything for Heather. She doesn't already know this, but when I was running through the companion you have in Chapter 1. I had that person set to healing, and they were also throwing out some deeps and some CC as well. So I think they just have more than just heals in their skill set anyway to kind of
Gotcha.
serve multiple purposes.
Awesome. Did you have any other question there, Heather, for Eric? We got him here.
No, just excited. The brilliance of Shriek is that, it was a healer or a tank, so now I could just go make any of my characters healers or tanks. I don't have to, listen to this little Ewok screaming behind me.
Oh my gosh.
Yep, and that's like I said, that's the beautiful thing is just that you can basically look at your class and figure out whatever companion is that's your favorite. You could just keep them with you at all times now. You have no reason to bring out anybody else, or you can bring out other people if you want to. But since everyone can do everything, it just makes it so much better.
Yeah, I'd always been using Zalek because he was a willpower user and also a tank, and so he was really useful for a deception assassin. But like, he was my least favorite companion, so now I'm going to be bringing around the more interesting ones because I don't have to worry about those things with the gear or the, what kind of combat type they do.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm. That's why I kind of like you. I saved a little bit of my leveling. I stopped leveling some tunes because I want to run through the original story and do that leveling process the way the companion changes. So I'm not kind of forced to take companions and a role that I wouldn't normally play with. So.
Right.
I think we're going to go on to some of the community extras. Here we got, first off, Gaddick Teague of the Unnamed SWTOR podcast has a new episode. It's been a while since he has been around, but he attended the New York Comic Con Cantina there, and he put up a new podcast. Got some definitely great information on that from some of the devs he talked to in a Q&A and also one-on-one. So, did you get a chance to see Gaddick there, Eric?
Yes, I did. Oh, I love Gaddick. Gaddick, he comes. I think he's just come 2 years in a row now to our New York events. I know he definitely came last year as well. So it's always good. It's always good to see it. Like, we've been doing cantinas for so long now that I love going to specific cities, assuming specific people like that. People will be there when I go to certain regions. People that I've seen over the course of a few years, like you guys included.
Oh, there's freaks like me that go to like all of them.
Yeah, it's great. It's great. It's always cool to see people that to see the same faces over a few years. It's very cool. I'll tell you what. It makes me excited as someone who came from the fan site community, and that was always such a big thing back when I was on a fan site myself. Like going to the conventions and stuff to see everybody that was a part of the fan site community as well. I still kind of feel like I have that feeling of like seeing what podcasters and fan site folks are going to be there. So it's always cool.
Yeah, it is great. I've only been to the Chicago one, and I got a chance to meet you there, and I love getting a chance to see all of you guys on the dev and community team, as well as everybody else that travels to all of the cantinas. So that was a great time.
That's cool.
Are you guys planning on going back to Chicago, by the way?
I don't know. I'm gonna be honest and say unlikely based on what we've been doing. Like this year, we transformed it into more of only going to the major game conventions as opposed to the year before, where we kind of dotted the lines a bit and went to some of the smaller conventions, which was super fun because I got to go to more cities.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't. I actually am not even sure yet what our cantina schedule is going to look like for next year. So.
Yeah, I imagine you guys will probably going to PAX South.
I don't know. That's a good question. It's in January, so it's not that far away. But I'm not sure.
That would be
not
awesome.
Sure yet.
And so we also have a little something here I'm going to play for you guys because as we near the end of October, Extra Life Day will be coming around real quickly.
This is Jessie from Passionately Casual Podcast, and you're listening to Corellian Run Radio. Did you know that November 7th is Extra Life Day? Extra Life benefits Children's Miracle Network hospitals, and gamers all over the world get involved by playing 12 or 24 hours straight. We'd like to invite you to join our team and play with us, or sponsor the team with a donation today. To find out more about the event and the cool prizes you can win with your donation, including a Sphero BB-8 app-enabled droid, please go to unholyalliance.org/extralife. Play games, heal kids.
Of course, that was one of my guild leader there, Jesse from Unholy Alliance, and Wookie Mistake. So, then want to get that little shout out there for Extra Life Day. We will be playing, and like she said, there's a chance to win a BB-8 droid. So, gotta check out that for any more information. We'll have the link in our show notes, so you can check out that.
I was trying very hard not to laugh at Chicken Sith. Chicken Sith in your chat.
Yeah.
Chicken Sith is great.
I'm just 150 miles from Austin. You could attend Chicken Sith Con and do giveaways in the living room. I assume that means their living room. That is so funny.
Definitely. I think Chicken Sith Con, it has a nice ring to it. I like it.
It's not bad.
Not bad. So, again, I want to thank you, Eric. I wish we could have a lot more time, but you've already been gracious enough to be in here. I know things are going to be getting super busy for you with the expansion coming up on Tuesday for the early access, and then the following Tuesday for going live for everybody else. So I know that you're pretty busy. I want to thank you again for stopping by.
No, of course. It's funny. The past couple days have been like calm before the storm, where we've all kind of been like, I feel like I'm not as slammed busy as I should be, and we're all like, yeah, no, it's coming. And so yeah, this week is going to be
forgetting to do something. That's
absolutely
like
true, Heather. It's like you've gone on a trip and then you arrive and you're like, I didn't pack deodorant. Like I'm gonna. That's where tomorrow's going to be interesting, because tomorrow's when we go into the office and everybody's like, did we forget anything before we go to early access tomorrow? So this week is going to be bananas. But no, I'm very thankful that you guys invited me on the show. It's always fun to stop by and talk to you guys. So I appreciate the invite. Thank you guys.
Thank you.
And if you want to find Eric Musco, you can talk to him on the forums, or you can also tweet him on Twitter. But I recommend talking to him on the forums.
Yeah, you could do either one of those. And I will say, because I get sometimes people ask me about like, oh, did you ever get my PM? So I promise you I probably did. If you're ever actually looking for a response, like feel free to be a pain in my side and just keep poking me in private message. Because I think since Friday I got like 600 PMs. So I get a lot of them. So sometimes they get lost in the shuffle. But I do try to respond to PMs as best I can. So feel free to poke me there. Or again, like Heather said, also on Twitter as well.
All right, well, if you'd like to be on the show, or if you'd like to get your guild noticed for the new expansion, or you want to announce an upcoming guild event, why not contact us about being on a guild ready check or just being on the show? If you're interested, send an email to corellianrun@gmail.com or heather@prettylittlesith.com. Thanks to everyone that's contacted us, and stay tuned for more special guests.
Don't forget to also check out all the articles we have on CCR during the week. Please take a moment to leave us a positive feedback on iTunes. You can subscribe to our podcast on iTunes or your favorite podcast app.
If you'd like to contact us or have any questions or ideas for discussion topics, email us at corellianrun@gmail.com. You can also follow and tweet us on Twitter @corellianrun. My personal Twitter handle is @Heather_PLS, and Jason is @JT_HollowNet. If you're on Facebook, like our Facebook page or join our Facebook group. You can also leave a voicemail for us on our website, www.corellianrun.com, or our Facebook page that could possibly be featured on the show. Finally, if you'd like to be a writer or submit content for our website, send an email to Jason, and he's jason@corellianrun.com.
That's going to wrap it up for us at Corellian Run Radio. We want to thank everybody that joined us in the chat room. It was a very lively chat. Right now, we have 101 people in there. I want to thank you guys for that, and great for following us. And thank to all the loyal listeners for tuning in. And until next time, I'm Jason.
I'm Heather. May the Force be with you. Or keep those blasters by your side, kid.
You've been listening to Corellian Run Radio, a Star Wars The Old Republic podcast. Tune in next time to hear Heather say,
Happy Coffee Day! Woo!
And transmission.